Alleluia. Om Mani Padme Om. Allah Satnam.
Welcome. You're watching Harmony and Diversity. And today we're speaking with Rachel Shields. She's a descendant of the first peoples of Australia. That description describes you as an Aboriginal woman. So perhaps you could give us a bit of an idea of what that history looks like.
Okay, Norm. Well, it begins by me acknowledging my ancestry, and in doing so also acknowledging where we are today and the ancestors of this landscape, the Wurundjeri and the Bunurong people. My ancestry is of Gamilaroi and Wawan people in northwest New South Wales. So through my mother's side, I am an Aboriginal woman, Indigenous woman, or a descendant of the first peoples of Australia. I recognise myself as a Gamilaroi Wawan woman. Yeah. I guess my grandmother was born in the Pilliga scrub, which is in New South Wales. My mother was born in Coonamble, and I was born in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You've got a little map there of Australia with the territories except marked on. Would you like to hold it up a bit to give a bit of an idea of just... So where would your tribal area have been?
So you can see all these beautiful colours represent the different countries here in Australia. So these are all the Aboriginal countries or Indigenous countries for people who haven't seen it. So our people are from around here. So you can see the brown and the yellow. Gamilaroi country is a rather large country, and Wawan country is a bit smaller. So through that area.
So there are well over 100 different nations, aren't there?
Yeah, there's many countries here in Australia with equally as many languages and dialects. Many of them are now identified as extinct. A lot have been revived, a lot have been documented throughout time and are being revived, and still we have beautiful languages being spoken, mainly throughout the top part of Australia and through the middle, but there's people all across Australia who have cultivated their connection to their own language.
Do both of those tribal descendants for yourself, are those languages still alive?
Very rarely spoken. I have a brother who's from he's my countryman from a different part of Gamilaroi country. So he speaks in language every day and sings in language. So through him there's language alive. There's lots of documentation of the Gamilaroi language. Wawan language is documented also. I know of one family in Coonamble where their children speak 4 different languages because they're committed to that. So the parents teach the children the language and they're keeping it very much alive. But it is, let's say, an endangered language.
Yes. Yeah. But it's interesting to hear that families do take on that commitment to say, right, we're going to make sure it stays alive.
Yeah, and it's, I find the people that are doing that strangely have kind of stand out on their own because they are the minority, but they're very passionate about helping revive language and connection through our language back to country because of Australia's history. Many people are cultivating other ways of being, and language isn't at the forefront. No. So they're helping shift that.
Yes. Yeah, it's a critical part. Language is a critical part of all of that, of course.
Language carries information, So through speaking language, it comes with accessing, there's a database within us of knowledge throughout time that's been passed on to every single person from all the other generations, no matter what our culture or where we're from on the earth. So when we speak language, which are ancient languages, old languages, other information can rise up.
Yes.
We're shaped by country. Language shapes us as well.
Yes.
So when we speak those languages, when we come to those languages, we access that information.
Yes.
And
That's
we
right.
can be a different type of person, so to speak.
Yes, culturally it's very significant. So that's the background to it. So you were raised in Sydney.
No, I wasn't.
You weren't? Oh,
No.
well, I jumped to conclusions.
Yeah, so my mother, she's one of the stolen generation. My grandmother
Right.
had 11 children. The first 7 were taken. My mother grew up belonging to the state. She was a ward of the state.
Oh, okay.
She became pregnant with me at a very young age, ran away, gave birth to me in Sydney, basically checked herself out of the hospital and stole me because they wanted to keep me for adoption as well. So
Yes,
I'm
of
very
course.
grateful for my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
And I grew up all across Australia. My mum met my stepfather when I was 2 years old, and yeah, we travelled a lot. I sat in many of these countries that we showed before, and spent time living with my grandmother as a child. Over my life, formed strong connections to my family through my mum's side. Yeah.
That's where your Aboriginal name comes from, isn't it? From your nana.
Yeah, my grandmother, she called me Nan Newman, so it's like a nickname in a sense of calling me Nan Newman, come here. But it also has a resonance of I am my grandmother's daughter also.
Yeah.
Through my own life, I've cultivated connection to the old ways.
Yes.
And listened to many old people, elders on country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes. So in our earlier discussion, I'm cheating here, of course, is that you have a broad and open perspective spiritually, but you have had quite an experience of the I hold my hands like this, sort of the church type experience as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
Give us a bit of an idea of that.
Having travelled a lot growing up, and my grandmother was Anglican. She was of the Anglican church, so when I lived with my grandmother, I would go to Sunday school, and I liked going to listen to the songs and eating biscuits and and listening.
Biscuits.
I was attracted to that. The singing was the best part for me.
And I'm going to have to interrupt you there, Rachel, because we've sung out of time.
Okay.
So we'll be back. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and we're speaking with Rachel Shields. She's a descendant, that's how she describes herself, a descendant of the first people of Australia. We were talking about music before I interrupted you.
Yeah.
It's the music in church and etc. being attractive to you, and the biscuits.
Continue from there?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was exposed to Church of England's way of being connected to Jesus and God. So I heard that, listened to that. I was also lived with a beautiful Aboriginal family in Kuranda in Far North Queensland who were Seventh-day Adventists. So I would go to church on a Saturday and eat vegetarian food and listen. And also one of my mother's adoptive families were Catholic, so I'd go to Catholic church and listen. I've met many people who are Buddhists, and I've sat and listened. Many people who are bikers, I've sat and listened. Many people who are, what would we call that? Nature people, I guess. Hippies, ferals, sat and listened. Lots of musicians, truck drivers, all sorts of people throughout Australia growing up, many cultures, many ways of being, noticing within every way of being beliefs.
And the key word there is you listened.
Yeah, I listen.
Okay.
I'm curious. I noticed in different people's homes Do you take your shoes off at the front? Do people sit at the table until they've finished everything on their plate, or are they able to get away? Just the contrasts of being, and I was exposed to it. I took notice of it. I could feel it. You know, as a child, everything, it comes through, but it comes through because there was all these different rules. Everything has its own set of rules, and I could feel that because it influenced my possibilities.
Yes.
So I would feel it. 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 I wasn't just walking through oblivious. I recognized that I'm actually being influenced by something, but also I started to think, well, how can I be myself in amongst all these things?
Yeah.
You know?
So it sounds as though a lot of questions would rise from that way of
plenty
being.
of questions.
And were those questions satisfactorily answered? Did you find some of them left more questions hanging in the air? Or?
I feel everything always left more thoughts within my own mind. I wanted to know, if you're going to tell me something and this is the way it is, be it from the Bible, be it from an old school way of thinking, be it from being a part of a club, then I want to know how, so, why, and what for. Yes. Yeah.
And so was the movement in, or the reaffirmation of this aspect of yourself, did that grow from that questioning, or was it always sitting underneath? Were you always aware of that? Was there a moment when you felt this awakening?
Because I was so exposed to so many contrasts throughout my early years, it was ever present.
Yes.
I could identify difference, I could identify sameness. But if we're calling this like perceiving the whole, and then looking at something, it's a felt sense throughout the body. It's always been there. Call it innate. I've always been able to sense something other than what people are actually on about, other than what's fashionable, other than what's right and wrong. Something else is always informing me.
Yes.
I call it else's because it's more than words.
Yes.
It's more than human comprehension, human understanding. It's ever present. I've spent a lot of time in nature growing up, so maybe that's helped tune me in, so to speak.
Sort of awakened it.
Because it's in nature. We're part of nature. You know, our bodies are organic by nature. Nature is organic. It's there. It's not for me, it's not a background hum, though.
No.
Yeah, it's at the forefront of my being. Yeah.
But you subscribe to the view, I think, in earlier discussion, that everybody is actually like that. They're only just held in by perceptions and concepts. Is that a fair interpretation of where you're at?
I would say everyone is made of it. We mostly cultivate ways of being. You know, we're all made of organic matter. We're all made of particles that are very old. You know, these bodies are designed from somewhere a long time ago. It's not a new thing.
No.
So the information is inside every single human being, of whatever animates us, of whatever knows how to grow 2 arms and 2 legs, eyes for seeing, mouth for eating and breathing and talking. It's in every single person, no matter what the superimposed realities are, ideas, beliefs. I used to practice Afro-Brazilian martial arts, and when I inquire about it, it's say 500 years old. It's quite young in relation to the knowledge that's inside our physiology.
Yes.
Same with most religions.
And the same with, in fact, all of creation, in the sense that the tree you're standing next to has been standing next to your beingness ever since time began.
Yeah, well, the seed that grew the tree is informed by the same thing that our bodies are informed
Exactly.
by, you know, the
Yes.
deepest sense of human qualities.
Yes, yes. It's an amazingly containing and holding awareness, as is the awareness that time passes, which it's just done. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. You're watching Harmony and Diversity, and we're speaking with Rachel Shields. Rachel, it seems to me you're a singer, you sing, and you explore sound. Now, the little story we've been talking about seems to have a lot of implication. There might be a sound interpretations going on, or possible potential of it. Is that a fair, accurate description of it?
So I've grown up with song around me throughout my family. Many people play the guitar and sing, or play other instruments and sing. So that's, you know, a natural, normal thing. But in my own journey with my relationship to finding my voice,
Yes.
to traveling in to hear who I actually am and be able to bring that to the world, I can sense my sound, my song, when I'm mimicking something as well, because I've been impressioned upon throughout life as well. Lots and lots and lots of music out there on the radio in the world, so it's influenced me. But journeying inwards to find my song, it's also, I can sing, something shifted one day.
Yes.
And it's through singing in nature, being informed by the sound of the wind, the sound of the waves, the sound of the water trickling down the mountain, and feeling my own presence in relation to those sounds, and kind of just opening to those sounds moving through me. I could feel another experience of sound, and being able to sing that and show it in the world.
Yeah.
Hold my position in amongst it as well, so that I'm not taken over by these sounds, but I can relate to the sounds and bring them to the people in a way that often helps the mind become still.
Yes.
Creates space. It's like walking into the forest. It creates space for people.
Yes. Yes, and there's a somewhat of a parallel with that, or similarity at least, with the chakras and the tones and the keys, etc., which are appropriate for the vibrations of each of the chakras. We talk about 7 or 8, but there's actually thousands of them. So we actually are energy packages which respond to vibration. So it all becomes a holistic thing, doesn't it? And how do you do more about interpreting that? Do you do other things like?
I prefer, like, I've recently, I get invited to come and sing or share. So what I love doing is beginning by stating to people that your experience belongs to you. I'm having my own experience. I just do what I love. I'm being who I am. This is me being myself. So on the other side of that, whatever you experience is yours.
Yes.
Because you're going to hear it through wherever you're listening from.
Yeah.
And therefore you will have that experience. So I don't actually own the experience of the listener. And I really like not talking about it at the end of a sharing. I love that a person can have space kind of for a recalibration to occur.
Yes.
So we're not just reshaping more concepts and ideas. We can actually unshape, because we're being bombarded every single day by billboards, advertising, concepts, ideas, beliefs, do this, do that, be this, be that. I really just love creating space.
Yeah, yeah.
So we can potentially be whatever we so choose, or just recognize that state of peace.
You have a healing modality which actually engages that a bit. I won't know, it's cranial something or other.
Yeah,
No?
so
Yeah.
I practice biodynamic craniosacral therapy, which was brought about by an osteopath
Right. Okay.
100 years ago or so. So it's through his understanding of anatomy and physiology and the practice of being an osteopath that he discovered other things were always occurring in the body. And so he listened to his body for 30 years and did little experiments of putting pressure on different parts of his body to see how it affected other parts.
Yeah.
All right. But how I explain to people as a practitioner of biodynamic craniosacral therapy is we sit in relation to the other.
Yeah.
Yep. A person's body grew itself inside the womb with the information that happened in conception.
Yep.
Our body grew itself. As a practitioner, we're simply kind of mimicking the womb space and holding a stillness where a person's body can do what it needs to do to resource itself from that original intelligence, from the ever-present health that's always there.
Right. So
Yeah.
you could, it's like it's a plasticity, is it? The movement within the person.
It's a fluid motion that's always occurring in the body, and when we rest into it, when we actually rest into our physiology, into ourselves, that fluid motion can become more fluid and resource us coming back to the natural state. Everyone's different as to how long that will take to occur. It can be very quick for some people, can take a few weeks for other people to arrive there. Everyone's unique. Everyone's got their own packaging.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I bring the sound in at the end of that. It's just something personal that I do because I have a relationship to sound and I know myself within that sound. And I like to sing. It's like a sound shower, I guess.
Yes.
At the end,
Yes.
just very gently. I like to just sing. Sometimes I don't, but if I feel to, I trust that feeling.
Yep.
And it just is complementary to that stillness and adds to quieting the mind.
Yeah.
Coming back to that place of potential.
Yes, and we're getting near the end of time, so I don't want to go into a big discussion about the didgeridoo, but I think the deep tonal values of didgeridoo music is said to arouse certain vibrational responses within people. And it certainly does. Bagpipes do it as well to people. There's something about it pushes the button for them.
Yeah, Yiraki has its medicine, and it's beautiful that it belongs to a people that understand that.
Yes, and we understand that. I would like you to come back next week. Is that possible?
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You've been watching Harmony and Diversity. We'll be back next week and we'll be speaking again with Rachel Shields. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
Baha'u'llah, Shanti Om, Allahu